What's going on? We're back with another Feature Friday, and we have a special guest here.
And before we get into it, we just want to remind you that Season 2 is brought to you by the Supporting Black Canadian Communities Initiative, administered by the Black Business Initiative.
Shout out BBI.
Shout out BBI. So we have a wonderful guest. We're going to let her introduce herself. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Damini Awoyiga. I'm a poet, a spoken word poet, and an artist.
So the first thing that stands out to me is you have a beautiful name. Is there like a significance to your name and a meaning behind your name?
Yeah, so my full name is Ireolua Damini, and that means the goodness of God holds me, which I think has displayed itself very finely in my life in terms of what I've been able to achieve with the help of God and my family and things like that.
Nice.
That's awesome. You're well-spoken. You were saying before we got on air that you had your own podcast.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the Sisterhood Sessions podcast. So we started that I think that was a year ago. And we really wanted to start it so that girls and everyone from any background, but especially Black girls, can have a place where they can come to for sisterhood and to hear voices and stories that they identify with.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And first off, so you are going from high school to university. You're a high school graduate. So this is our youngest guest that we actually have yet. And she is brilliant, absolutely brilliant, a great creative. So maybe speaking a little bit to your upbringing, where you're from, where you grew up.
Yeah. So I went to school in Hammonds Plains, but I grew up in Sackville for the first 12 years of my life, and then I moved to Hammonds Plains. I grew up in a Nigerian household, so I was kind of raised with that in between of being Canadian, Nigerian, and Black, and all those identities kind of mixed into one. But I always had a strong cultural identity. I speak my language, and it's often funny whenever I switch to Pidgin, which is kind of like Creole. When I switch to that, or when I speak my language, people are like, "Oh my God!" Because when I talk, I don't really have an accent necessarily. So whenever I switch, I'm always like, oh, okay, so she can speak your language. And I really like having that ability to be able to code switch.
Yeah, that's dope. Can you maybe talk to that camera and maybe introduce yourself to the Nigerian folks that are listening in your language?
Sure.
That's super, super dope.
Sure. Eka son bawo ni orúkọ mi ni Damini Awoyiga. Mo dẹ̀ wà ní orí podcast yìí. Mo dẹ̀ really happy àti grateful sí àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n invite me láti wá sórí ẹ̀.
That's so tough.
Yeah, see, that's so dope. Wow.
So,
and you're born here,
yeah,
so you already said that. So
Yeah, what are the values within your household that continue your culture, your Nigerian culture, and to instill those values to speak your language? And how are you able to maintain that as well here?
Yeah, definitely. I listen to a lot of Afrobeats, Yoruba movies, Nigerian movies. Me and my mom were actually watching one yesterday, How to Kill a Monkey. Shout out. It's so good. You guys should definitely watch it.
Okay.
So definitely that. Talking to my grandmother as well, because my grandmother only speaks Yoruba. So that's the connection that we have. So if I didn't speak my language, then I wouldn't be able to communicate.
Is she back home or here?
Yeah, she's back home, but she visits every few years. But yeah, I think those are the biggest parts that have helped me shape and keep my culture. Also, my parents have also been a really big support in my life in everything. My mom, my dad, always driving me places, and when they can't, they make sure I can find a way to where I'm going.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. So they instilled that, they kept that within you. You get to FaceTime your grandmother, I assume?
Yes, every once in a while, but we mostly talk on the phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Okay. Well, then maybe speaking, you said you were born in Hammonds Plains, and just maybe speaking to your school experience and your upbringing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Going to Kingswood Elementary, I was the only Black girl.
Yeah.
So it was I think there was another guy in our school that was also Black, and we call each other brother and sister because we had that solidarity going because it was just us.
Yeah.
So that was the only other person in my school that was Black, but from that, it was just me, the only Black girl in my class. It was a struggle at times because you kind of don't really feel like you belong anywhere in that mix, and you're constantly making friends and then losing them, and then making new friends and then losing them, and not ever feeling like you belong. Or you're friends with somebody and then they become friends with another person that you actually were friends with, and then you're just lost in the mix. Yeah. But then middle school is different because that's Madeline Simon's middle school, and that's in Hammonds Plains. So we got them people.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. So I had community there, and I joined the Black Student Association. Shout out Mr. Borden, one of the best Black support workers in our school. He was great. So that was really good in order to find community and kind of find myself within that. And then high school too, that's when I really found my tribe, and I made a lot of friends, and my whole friend group was there was 10 of us, and we were all Black and like all Black girls. And I think there's like one guy in there at one point. So
that's super dope because you basically illustrated a story of like being in a school in elementary where you maybe felt like you didn't belong. Then as you progressed and got older, you went to junior high, met some more friends, and then high school, it's like you found your tribe, like you said. Where do you feel like, because you seem like you've been confident.
Oh my gosh.
Where do you find?
We on the same wave. Like I saw me right now. That's crazy. Keep going. My bad, Chef.
So like being born in Nova Scotia, because I find like most of the African friends that I have, they come from Africa and they got this different type of confidence when they're here versus like people that I know here. So you seem like you are born here, but you are already born with the confidence. Like, where do you feel like that may have come from? And like when you were less confident in elementary, where did you find the confidence when you were there?
I think it was like, because when I was in elementary school, I think I've always been outspoken. My mom's very outspoken as well.
Okay.
So I think I get
It's
it from
in my
there.
genes.
Yeah, and my dad as well, and my brother too.
Yeah.
So I think I've just always been kind of confident. I kind of spoke my mind, kind of sassy little girl.
Love it.
But I think at times I would shrink, which I still find myself in those moments sometimes. But like I think I've like really grown through poetry actually. Starting at when I was 10 and I was performing, I think that kind of showed me that, okay, you have something to offer. And there's a reason for you to be like, okay, yeah, I know what I'm doing and I can do these things. So that kind of helped me to shape my confidence because I feel like I've always had confidence, but through poetry, it kind of bloomed.
Go ahead.
So when did your like your interest in poetry start? Like, did you say that was in grade 10?
No, it was when I was 10 years old.
It was when you were 10 years old.
Yes.
So what like sparked you to be like, oh my goodness, poetry?
Girls Conference. I went to the Mount St. Vincent Girls Conference, and my mom had actually recommended a poem to me called Black Girl Fly. And that poem is by Funmilola Fagbamila. She's another Nigerian writer in America, I think California. She's a professor. So that poem just really spoke to me. And my mom was like, oh, you might want to read this at the conference. So I started practicing and I memorized it. And then I approached Elle Jones, who was teaching a poetry workshop at the conference.
You're 10 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, you see what I'm saying? Like, y'all see what I'm saying?
So I went up and I was like, oh, can I share this with everyone at the conference? Would that be okay? And she's like, yeah, for sure. So then I went up and I was like so scared and my knees were trembling. That's I think my first time like going on a stage to talk in front of like thousands of people. And so I went up and I like performed it. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was that first time where I put myself out there to do something like that.
Wow, that's crazy. So do you find since then, the more you do it, the better you get, the more confident, the more comfortable?
Yes, I would say so. There's some audiences where I'm extra comfortable where I don't really have to do too much. But then there's other times where maybe if I'm tired or I've performed a lot that week where I do have to withdraw. Like I'm always joking with like actually Asia Sparks, who's the other youth laureate, that like we just have to hide sometimes before you performing because you just need that time to yourself to just hone in to what you're going to do and get that energy that you need to perform. Yeah,
because I find the audience can feel your energy. Like if you're super, super nervous, they can feel it. Sometimes they can't, but like, because sometimes you'll get off the stage and people will be like, that was so great. But you know inside, you're like, man, that was so nervous. So I see you at every conference, every opportunity that goes on in the city. Where did was your mom that encouraged you to go and be involved?
So some of it, like, people just reach out through my email or my website. I also I tried to work because I got my dad to help me like print off some cards that I made, some business cards I made. So I just always be handing them out.
Is this from an early age? Like when did you have your first business card?
I think 11 or 12.
Crazy. You guys see this? You got to start early. You got to execute. So that's the thing that I see you doing is you're executing. You don't just have the idea and just sit on it, or you don't just like, oh, maybe one day I'll go to the conference or whatever. It's like you do the stuff. Like I see all the stuff you've been doing in community and online, like all the stuff you create during Black History Month. Like that's super dope. Like where does that drive come from to just have an idea and execute on it?
Yeah.
When like other kids, they get an idea and be like, oh, I'm too young, or like, oh, I can't do that, or whatever. I
think you just have to try. For me, it's like you just have to try. Like I think even you played a part in my last African Nova Scotian like series that I did for African Heritage Month. Because at first I was like, I'm tired. I feel like I'm always doing this and no one's seeing it. But you said like that, like people are seeing what you're doing, so keep up the good work. 100%. So then I was like, okay, and I did it again this year. So like thanks to you as well.
Yeah, keep it up.
But yeah, I think. I also have ADHD, which I did a TED Talk recently, so I mentioned that for the first time in front of a big audience, which I don't usually share it with people because it's kind of something private. Yeah. But that impulsivity is something I've been able to harness and kind of turn into something that's good. Because if I have an idea, I'm gonna follow through. And like I'll discuss with my mom as well and like see how she feels about it. Because sometimes I might want to shrink back and be like, oh, I don't know if I should do it. But my mom's also there to be like, okay, girl, you gotta try this. Like it's worth something. It's gonna work out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it sounds like there's a lot of role models in your life, as well as like Trev and your mom and people that are kind of instilling that confidence and helping you to push forward. Could you maybe shout out some inspirations and people that are basically mentors and people you look up to?
Yeah, definitely Elle Jones. Definitely Your Honor, my Anne Francis. A lot of teachers in my school and definitely people within the community as well. I probably missed some people, but like, there's a lot of people who have like lifted me up and helped me to get to where I am today.
Yeah, that's super dope.
So you mentioned websites, business cards, and a bunch of different things like that. So from our understanding, you're a founder of Damini Creatives, right? And like different types of businesses. So how did you take on those ventures at such a young age?
Yeah, so it all started with like a mask making business in 2020. So that was just started for fun because we had a lot of African fabric in the house and my mom's a social worker, so she works in the hospital. So I was like, okay, how can I protect my family and then other people in community? So then I started making the masks and at first they were kind of shaky. And I was like, oh, but my dad was like, okay, let's refine this and make this better. So we then found some like video online that could teach us how to make efficient masks that would, help, but then also they'd be comfortable for people to wear and easy to make. So then we did this and then that started the Damini Creatives mask line, which was in 2020. And a lot of people really liked it. I think it was unique because it was made out of African print, which is something that was new at the time and eventually picked up over time. So I did that for like 2 years, I think. And then it kind of like dwindled down and I was like, okay, I can't take the orders anymore because I have to go back to school pretty much. Because during COVID, that was an opportunity for my creativity to flourish. But when school started back up again and the lockdown was over, I was like, I can't.
The capacity.
Yeah. Because me and my dad were like there working and my dad was a really big part of it. My whole family, my brother, my mom, we were all working on it and like trying to fulfill orders on time. So that was kind of the start.
You probably had like unlimited orders during COVID.
Yeah.
Like,
it was nice.
Mask and stuff.
I don't know if we should say COVID on here. Will it give us blacklisted or whatever? Shadow ban.
But yeah, that was pretty much how that started. And then I also have an interest in journalism as well. That's what I'm going to be studying in the fall.
At King's?
Yes.
Shadow King's?
Yeah, shout out
I took
King's.
a couple King's courses, man. Intro to
King's
journalism and stuff like that.
Yes, it's amazing. So I kind of had interest in that. So I started like a video series where I interviewed different women, Black women mostly.
Separate from the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. See,
This was
executed.
like,
Look at that.
I love it.
It's like unlimited things. Like, and you're how old?
I'm 18.
Bruh, you can do it. You can make it happen.
Yeah, no, definitely about that, like about youth and like things like that. I think we just kind of have to follow through on our dreams, like make it happen. Even if you think it's not the greatest, it'll grow into something that you can be like, okay, yeah, this is my best work. You just have to start. And I think that's one thing that youth really need, especially learning how to network as well, because I network, but sometimes I don't like it. It's tough. Sometimes your battery's dying, but like making that effort is what will help you make future opportunities.
Like getting out your comfort zone, going to the conferences, meeting people. Like when you go to conferences, do you make it a point of like, okay, I'm going to meet X amount of people or like have goals and stuff like that?
I kind of just, because that's the thing about me. When I first step into space, I'm pretty shy. So I actually do need to take like a moment to like settle in or like observe the space. So first I just go in and I just watch people. I look around. And if I see somebody I know, I'll say hi. But I kind of just like think first. And then I eventually like make my way and start talking to people. My mom also helps with that because she's like a social butterfly. So I go around and I talk to people and I try to make connections. Like I went to an event at the art gallery a few months ago and there was the artist that made the exhibit. I think it was Sonia Boyce. But I was like watching her dance and I was like standing with my mom and I was like looking and I was like, oh, should I go over? Should I not? I had my business card. Should I go over? Should I not? And I was like, okay, I like to dance. She's dancing. I can go and dance with her. So that's what I did. So I went over and I danced with her. And then I was like, oh, I really liked your work. I'd love to connect. And then I handed her a card.
There you go.
Finding those common interests.
Yeah, I find like when you genuinely connect with people and then build that rapport, give the business card or exchange the information, it might lead to nothing, but it might lead to everything. You never know what the next opportunity is going to come. I find, so another question that I would have for you would be, how do young folks, because you're as a young person graduating, how do they not get distracted? Because I find like even adults, young people, they just do what the crowd's doing. Like it's like a sheep mentality where like everyone's just doing what everyone else is doing. Like either they just doom scroll TikTok, so they're never able to execute on their own dreams. So it's like, how do you, or like adults, they might be like drinking all the time on the weekend. So it's like those precious moments when you have time to yourself to build your dream. Like how do you, what advice would you give to a young person on how to stay focused or how to even just take the leap?
I can't lie. Recently, especially, I've been trying to post more content, so I have been getting stuck up in that doom scrolling. Because when you're trying to post, you get stuck in there because you're like, okay, I gotta check the algorithm, the insights, everything. So I have been getting stuck recently, but I think the advice that I would give is just to like take a leap, like make those moves to go to those dreams, and you don't have to do what everyone else does. Because sometimes I used to notice that, like, because of all the work I do, I might miss things or might not be able to make it to things. Or I might see other people doing things. But because I feel like sometimes I'm an old soul, I like talking to adults. That's like my favorite place to be. Because they just have so much to offer. So I think making those moves to be like, if I'm different or if I communicate in another way, that's okay. Just accepting who you are and allowing that to just grow. And eventually through that, you'll find out what's best for you. So don't look around at everyone else and what they're doing. Choose yourself. Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's important to like, when everyone else is zigging, you got to zag. And that's the only way that you'll truly become something like spectacular, because if you're doing everything that everyone else is doing, it's just you blend in. It's just like a black wall basically. But then if you are your true self and you're doing what you truly want to do, then you're going to be art on that black wall, because it's so easy to just do what everyone else is doing. Like that's the easy thing to do.
Exactly. Following the crowd. Yeah. And I feel like I also have a great example of my brother. My brother, oh no, he never followed the crowd. But we often talk about this even. Like he had times, because of course we grew up in Hammond's Plains. We went to Kingswood, white school, you know. There were times where he was like, yeah, I did feel like I wanted to blend in, but I just realized what's the point? Like,
where's the value in that?
Exactly. You kind of just have to be yourself, because either way, you're going to end up being yourself anyway after those people are gone.
And you're the best person to be yourself is yourself. And comparison also is something, a thief of joy as well. So like you said, not being that sheep and kind of finding your way is definitely really important. So you spoke to taking a leap. Sometimes when taking a leap, we face certain challenges. Were there any challenges along your journey taking these multiple leaps at a young age that you've had to overcome? And how did you do that?
Yeah. I think definitely sacrifice. And then also knowing when to say no. Because I think I often sometimes struggle with that. Every new opportunity, I'm like, yes. Because I feel like, oh, I don't want to let this person down. Or I think this is a great opportunity. What if it never comes back? But sometimes you just have to say no, which I'm trying to train myself to do slowly, because it is hard to do all this work and juggle school. So sometimes I have to be like, okay, I'm going to have to say no to this so I can focus and stay at home and study for this quiz. So that's something I had to teach myself. I think also knowing what friends you choose as well. My friends, especially right now, are very, very supportive of what I'm doing, and they're always there. And I make sure, because I believe in lifting up as you climb, that I want all my friends to have access to the things I have. So you guys, especially on my social media, you'll see my friends in everything, because they're always with me, because I want to make sure that whatever I have access to, they can also have access to as well, because that's important. So just making sure that like I have those people around me is really important to me.
Yeah, and right now you have a lot of motion, you have a lot of stuff you're doing. So it's okay for you to say no and figure out where your priorities lie. But folks who did that, if you ain't got no motion, you can't say no to nothing. You gotta say yes.
Yes, that's so true, because I spent a long time saying yes to everything because I needed that motion. You're right. But now it's like a place where I can pick and choose what I want to do.
Yes. Definitely. So like the sacrifice is like, you can't just do everything because then you'll burn out. But initially start no, you might not get opportunities, because other folks that might be listening, younger folks, be like, oh, I ain't got no places to actually say no to. So it's like, get out there, go to the conferences, meet the people, build up your network. You're doing the stuff. You 18 years old. Like when you like 30, you're gonna be like prime minister or something.
And another note, I've been told by many mentors as well, because this is something I just started doing recently. Send emails to people. Be like, hi, I'm a poet. This is what I do. Can we work together? Can we collab? Because that's something I didn't do before. I was like, oh, they don't want me. They don't know who I am. But you have to make that move and be like,
Put
this is
yourself
what I
out there.
offer. Now, how can we work together?
Yeah, and it's like figuring out what value do you bring, what value do they have, and how can you work it together? Because there's sometimes that people will reach out to you and it's like, this is taking my time and energy. They ain't offering no value.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
So you got to figure out what can you offer. Also, I like that you mentioned email because as young people, like I'm older now, but like when I was younger and like getting in university and stuff, you think like emailing is like an old people business or it's an old person
I'm always
game.
on email. I spend half my day on email.
Yeah, so like you're 18 and you look like I don't even like email now, but like you have to be good at writing emails, connecting with people through emails, and recognize that like email is a gateway to like opportunity, is a gateway to like there's so much opportunity from email, like, you know?
And I think like making and having Damini Creatives, because that mask business, people would email in and I'd be like, Daddy, there's too many emails. And that was my way, because at first my parents used to help me.
And they were going on bad in them emails. I know they were. Because I had masks during the COVID time.
And I was like, okay, I need to learn how to write emails. So that was my time of learning and growing into that. And like, in like the future now, I look back and I was like, okay, that's why that happened. So I could learn how to navigate that space and learn how to write emails. Exactly.
Yeah, that's
definitely.
Because customer service, you obviously had to go in the role of a customer service representative, and then you know you can't reply with their same energy. You gotta take a second and just be like, okay, I'm gonna kill them with kindness.
Yeah, exactly. Because some people just be like, no subject. No hi. Can I have a mask?
Lowercase.
I'm like,
no signature. Just straight to
no thank you, no nothing.
And then maintaining your professionalism in that too. And one thing I appreciate too is you go out to get opportunities as well. And like you said, for a lot of youth, it's not just don't just sit around and don't do anything. Go out and get those opportunities. And once you get to that point where you got that motion, like you got over here, then you can start kind of setting those boundaries and saying no to this and yes to that and no to that, and seeing the value and collaborating with people. And
I think a big add to that is just you got to put it out there. You got to put value out in the world and do the stuff, like, because even for you, like you're where you're at today, you're where you're at today and where you're going to be tomorrow. And it's doing all the things. Like if you do the stuff, like, because some people might look at other folks and be like, oh, why they got motion? I ain't got no motion. It's like, if you're focusing on someone else having motion and you ain't having no motion, you can't get no motion.
Exactly. And also the grace of God as well.
Yeah.
Because there's some opportunities I'll be like, me?
Yeah. Because you're walking into and you're creating those opportunities to come to you because you're building up the competency, you're building up the network, you're building up the awareness so people know who you are. So and then you're letting people know this is what I offer, this is what I do.
Exactly.
So then the world can come and be like, or God can come and be like, hey, I'm gonna drop this one over to you.
Yes, because you've worked.
Versus like, because if everybody's doing what everyone's doing or like BSing, then it's like, no opportunity can come to BS. Like it has to be some kind of value. Like, you know what I mean? So that's I feel like, and if everyone else is being sheep, it's going to be so easy for you to be yourself and to do things that are going to provide value.
And to
excel. You know? Like believe in yourself, execute on the ideas that you have, and just think about what it is that you want to accomplish and get out there. Like, meet the people, send a random person your email, like email a random person and introduce yourself, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like DMing people, you know? The same type of vibe, right?
Pitching yourself, business idea as well. So speaking of opportunities, you had a really exciting opportunity this year to do TED Talk, which we both heard about. We thought it was really exciting. So can you speak to us maybe the process, the prep, how you found out about the opportunity?
Yes. Actually, shout out Zoya. Zoya, my friend, on the HRM Youth Advisory Council. That's another thing. Opportunities can lead to other opportunities. So I met her on Youth Advisory Council and she was like, you'd be great at this. And she like added me on LinkedIn right under the post. And like, I would have probably never seen it if she hadn't done that. So then I was like, okay. But I was feeling imposter syndrome as well. I was like, oh, am I really the one to apply for this? But then I talked to my mom about it and she's like, you should really try this. You should definitely go ahead. So then I applied. And actually in my audition recording video, I had actually been doing the Did You Know series during that time. So I had the backdrop still up because I just kept it up the whole month. So every day I just record a video. So I was like, oh, that's unique. I could just film this with that backdrop. So then it's also Afrocentric as well. So I recorded it with the backdrop and they seemed to really like what I said. So then I got selected and I was so excited.
I've been excited for you and I know what happened, but still.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's how it just went. And I did know that I did want to talk about my journey with ADHD and just my experiences being a Black girl in Nova Scotia, Halifax. things like that. I knew I wanted to talk about that. So I actually struggled a lot writing my speech because I was like, is this good enough? Am I speaking about what I should be speaking about? Are people going to like this? Is it going to speak to somebody? But eventually I did get there. After a lot of stress, I did get there, and I was really happy with my finished product.
Okay.
Wow. So you've done it, you completed it.
Yep.
Is it on air yet? Or
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
It's still in the process.
Okay, dope.
Yeah.
So your thesis was basically your own story and then battling ADHD or like how it became your superpower?
So it's about the girl who harnessed creativity, turning impulsivity into possibility. So it's also inspiring others to turn their impulsivity, like we were talking about, turning those dreams, those things that you want to do and just kind of doing them. Just execute. Motion.
Yes,
Yeah.
motion. Get that motion. Yeah. When you're at the place and you think about shaking the person's hand, don't think anything else. Just go shake the person's hand.
Yes. Make eye contact.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Same thing for sure. So another question, I feel like a lot of people have this question sometimes when you think of public speaking and TED Talks. What was going through your mind when you first entered that stage to take this on?
Ooh. I was really excited.
Yeah.
I think I also I believe in God, so I prayed a lot. It's actually funny that my dad's Muslim, my mom's Christian, but I kind of pray both ways, and I believe that God is God in whichever way you pray.
I like that. That's my kind of philosophy.
Yeah,
me too.
It's like all the religions, it's all about goodness.
Exactly,
and being great.
exactly, and just connecting.
Core belief.
Exactly. So I think I had definitely put that at my forefront. I prayed that morning, prayed with my mom, and just kind of put it there, So when I walked out, I knew I was really excited. I was kind of nervous, but I was like, I think this is where I'm meant to be. I'm just literally checking off a box on my destiny. Something that God had been like, you're going to do this anyway. Yeah. And I was kind of just fulfilling that. Yeah. So I wasn't as scared as I thought I was going to be. I was just really excited to share.
There's a lot of people there, like a big audience?
Yeah, it was about maybe 100 people.
Crazy.
Nice.
So it was really ready. And I just was so excited. And another thing, I tend to sing before my poetry. So being able to do that regulates your breathing. So first off, you've got that little bit of regulation first, and you've got that calm. So after I finished singing, I was like, okay, I'm ready.
Take notes, people. She's giving you the game. The game is here.
Yeah. So then after that, I kind of just went straight into the talk. And my elementary school experience was kind of tough for me. So it did often used to make me cry whenever I talked about it. But I found a way around that. Third person. I wrote my poem in third person because in the beginning of my speech, I talked about my experiences, how I felt, the ways that people treated me and how I felt and the names they called me. But I was like, that girl. But at the end, then I said, I am that girl. So it was kind of a way to delicately talk about myself because sometimes I find it hard to be vulnerable.
Get emotional as well.
Yeah. But I found a way around it and still being able to tell that story.
Yeah, from a bird's eye view?
Yeah,
that's dope. That's probably a good coping for someone else to help them get through something like that.
Yeah.
Talk about the trauma in a third person.
Yeah.
It's because it's you looking at yourself and being at the end, probably everything's okay.
Exactly.
And then using other avenues like poetry and stuff to relay that.
Yeah, because my speech was poetry, speech, poetry, speech, poetry, and then
so you
music.
braided your expertise in it. That's dope.
What was it like interacting? The TED Talk thing is so cool. How was it interacting with the crowd and stuff? And,
It was so nice. A lot of people were nodding. I was
you
get me.
The reassurance, y'all do that. Yeah.
And people were vibing and nodding at certain moments. They laughed, which is really great. And then also connecting with the other Black women too that were also doing their TED Talks. I actually did a post recently where I was like, my TED Talk aunties, because they were my people. When I walked in there, I kind of gravitated towards them. But then there was also other great people in the program who were also speakers, and it was great to connect with them and make those connections.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah. Wow. So was there anything that you were doing to prepare for this? Is there any pointers that you could maybe give to the audience and be like, hey, I did a TED Talk, and you might think you want to do one, but you might not think you could do one? What's something that you would say to them?
Okay. Get your speech done on time. That's one thing that my coach actually really, because there was a little thing and he advocated for me because he was like, she works really hard. She's been working really hard on this because I made sure, because I was like, all these speakers have spoken before. They're really great at what they do. I don't want to be caught lacking. I want to make sure that I can band for band, measure up with everyone else.
You hear that? Band for band.
Yeah, I got to measure up with everyone else. I can't be caught lacking. So I made sure to have my speech done. I made sure to practice. I was practicing a lot. I wanted to make sure I could memorize most of it. We did have teleprompters, but just to make sure that I could make that eye connection with the audience. And I also went away during that time, so I was practicing on the plane.
Oh, nice.
I was practicing, like I was trying to make sure I was listening to it as well. I made like when you can do Speechify and things like that, I put my speech in and I was listening to it as I would walk, as I would go back and forth.
So like to get the memory down, so you know every word.
Yes.
Did you also like practice like the way that you will say it, like
Yeah.
muscle memory?
Yeah, every time in the shower, when I got out in the mirror, I would do it with all the hands and everything.
Yeah.
And then there's actually a part where I had to talk about like my upbringing, and I was like, I grew up in like Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, because like it's like small to big.
Yeah.
So that hand signal helped me to like remember. Yeah.
Because I find a lot of folks, they think like
Me.
people get up and do TED Talks or they get up and do speeches and they think that it's their first time doing it. And they're just like, oh, that's a stellar speaker. And it's like, they don't realize like people is practicing these speeches.
Exactly. And shout out to my speaking coach, Vastel Sood. Yeah. So he really helped with that process as well. And my dad, he does Toastmasters. So he gave me some tips about like using places as memorization tactics. So like he was like, okay, start from your room, your brother's room, the bathroom, the dining, like down the stairs.
I was in Toastmasters back in the day, and like trust me, like if you don't know what Toastmasters is, it's a place where people go with like-minded to learn to public speak. It's basically like a community. Like if you have a community or a bunch of drinking buddies, or you got whatever community you're involved in, like a club, it's basically like that. Like think about you play hockey or basketball. But it's for public speaking. Yeah. So they basically help each other because everybody's there to help each other and grow and learn. You probably know a lot about it.
Yeah, because I went on. That was the first like group of people I performed my poem for. It was my dad's group. Of,
so you're a Toastmaster too then? What do you mean? You Toastmaster too? What? That's so dope.
Yeah.
Wow. So like anyone else that might not know what Toastmasters is, because like so many people don't know what it is. Like every time I tell people about Toastmasters, they're like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
It's like, bro, You never thought about being a public speaker or whatnot? Yeah. Like I know I'm not the best public speaker, but like the skills that I do have are thanks to that, and then the experiences that I've taken the opportunity to. But it's definitely a great like way to, if you're thinking about being a public speaker or you want to be a better public speaker, a better public speaker, then go and check out Toastmasters, and it's a place where you don't got to feel no shame. You just get out there. Right. Everyone's there to help you. Everyone's there to encourage you. Yep. And it's just like a friend group, and you're building there.
Yeah. It's a great community, definitely. And I encourage like youth, go to Toastmasters, even if you're the youngest person there. Because like me and my brother have been going to my dad's Toastmasters group since we were like 12, 13.
Oh, wow. Seeing those little things are what adds so much value to your life. Like people don't recognize, like your dad probably knows how much value it adds to you guys, but it's like going and being exposed and seeing people speak, seeing people get vulnerable. They make you realize like, hey, I can do that. And then you some people you probably seen like, man, that person trash ass speaking. But then like a year later or 2 years later, they the best there, you know? So it's like, stay on that.
Yeah, confidence, other areas of your life too, the way you carry yourself in other spaces. Like, I feel like definitely important. So on another end, Youth Poet Laureate. Can you break down what that title means to the audience? And
it means the power of a person to be able to use their pen to inspire a bunch of people, youth, adults, community. I think that's what I would say about that. I think it's like a big megaphone for like someone to have to be able to like share their thoughts and ideas, because that's what it was for me. I really enjoyed the position. I got to kind of speak my truth and share things with people and connect with different people in community, and have a reach that I might not have had before, which I would say I kind of did already, because I always made sure to go into community and like go to events and things like that, but it was even bigger.
So is it like one person a year or something, or how does that work?
So this year it's actually one person, and the year when me and Asia, it was 2 people.
Yeah, shout out Asia. Yeah. So during that, is there like responsibilities of you, or is there things that like, tell us about the role? Yeah,
so it was just starting then. So we had a couple of opportunities. We got to perform for like the mayor and the councillors. And then we also got some emails about opportunities so we could pick and choose what we wanted to do. So I really enjoyed that. It was a great opportunity to have.
Is it like a paid opportunity?
Yes, we do get paid. Yeah. A little bit of money. Yeah.
And is it an age group where like it's a young person's position, or is it all ages?
Yeah, I think it's all ages. I think there was the limit. I don't remember what the exact limit was, but I do think it was like any age youth. Yeah, pretty much doing that.
Yeah, that's dope. And then how did they find that opportunity, or how do you get it? Do you apply for it? Do someone nominate you? Like, how does that work?
So yes, it was definitely an application process.
Okay.
And that's something I actually liked about when we were chosen that year, 2023 to 2024. We actually had a get together with the other poets that had applied but didn't make it. Like a conversation where we all got together and wrote poetry together as a way to also include community of other youth.
Like
rather
a meet and
than,
greet.
yeah.
And then everyone knows each other so they can
Exactly.
encourage and help grow.
And connect. We made
Yeah.
a group chat and everything because I think it's tough when you do apply for those things and then you don't get chosen, and the way that you feel, you may stop writing poetry. Or you may feel like, oh, I'm not good enough.
That's a great way for them to cultivate the belonging or the you're enough, because without that, it's like everybody can't get picked.
Yeah.
So like, but if you didn't get picked, we bring you guys together and then recognize like, oh, maybe next year or the year after or whatever. And then also you can still learn and grow in your respective, because like once you do it, you're not going to do it again.
Exactly.
So it's like, you're there to mentor someone else, or you're there to, you know what I mean? You did it before. So like someone else probably going to hit you up on the email, tell them your email.
And please do, DaminiCreatives@gmail.com. If you need anything, let me know. Like if you need questions, ask me. Like ask me anything.
Yeah, because then you're mentoring other folks that are maybe coming up. Is there someone right now that you know that's the laureate for this year or next year?
I think right now it's Asha Adbosh. Follow her on Instagram. Find out. Look at her poetry. She's very good at writing.
Shout out.
Love it.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of different creatives, and I really appreciate the diversity of the different creatives that you do. And something you mentioned is you're going to school for journalism. So when did your journey through journalism start? It sounds like you're freelance and you're doing it yourself. So what's that journey look like?
So I've always liked talking and yapping.
I love the word yapping.
And talking to people. So I like always introduce myself to people, like new kid in school. Hi, what's your name? How are you? Like my whole friend group, I was kind of like just like, ooh.
Yeah, you were
hi,
like, I'm going to say hi.
Yeah. So I kind of just really like connecting with people, and I like hearing their stories. I'm kind of obsessed with like talk shows as well. I hope to have one day.
Okay.
Okay. I like it.
So I'm really
Put your
interested
dreams in the
that.
universe, please.
Yes,
Continue.
exactly. So I've always had an interest in that. Elle Jones is also a journalist as well. So that also I think really inspired me to really like be like, okay, I can do this. This person is doing this, and it seems like something that I'm interested in. So that started. And then when I was 15, I believe, I've always been doing interviews and things like that in media. So I was talking to Jeff Douglas, Mainstreet, CBC, and I told him about my interest in journalism. And he was like, oh, we would love to have you as a freelance journalist for us from like Cayman's Place. Come on.
What?
And then that's how I got the opportunity. So I've been doing freelance journalism for them since I was 15.
So what?
I need a
What,
second
she just
wait.
ran over there like, so since you were 15, you've been freelance journalist for what? For
CBC.
who? Right there.
I need a break.
That's crazy. You didn't put that in your bio, did you?
Yeah,
That's
you
tough.
put the freelance journalist.
Yeah,
But you didn't put the CBC.
Hey, brag on that. Brag on that. Brag
I'm
on
going to go
that.
edit it and send it back
Yeah.
to you. You're like,
Hey.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Thank
Wow.
you.
So through DAL, how do you look to elevate and to refine the skills and stuff that you've learned over the years?
Yeah. I hope to like definitely amplify the voices of Black people, because that's mostly what my stories are about, like community, culture, things like that. I definitely hope to amplify those voices. And then also like grow. I want to learn a lot. And I've heard that FYP Kings is hard, but I'm ready and I'm open to learning. And if it's going to be hard, at least it's going to get me to where I want to go. Sure. So let me get through that hardness now so I can face what I have to face when I come out. So I'm like really focused on like, let's get out. I'm going in right now, but like the goal in the future is there.
It's so dope because I feel like you have so much lived experience as a young person that it's like, you already got the experience. Now you go get the education or like the paper, and then you go on with the experience and the paper and like the connections you make in school, and like obviously the professional knowledge. But then you go and it's like the sky's already the limit.
So many forms of knowledge coming together. Kings don't know what's coming.
It's like you going to school after you already went to school. Like after you already got all the not all the experience, but you have a lot of experience. Now you're going to the school. I think that's like becoming a lawyer and then going to law school. It's like,
you already
like what? Or like being a doctor and then
just
going
the
to doctor.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Just to
like-
back it up kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. You're going to do great.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
Are you
you.
excited for the transition?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm a bit nervous because like I do want to keep doing my poetry stuff and I want to make sure I can like blend it perfectly, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. That's so dope. Like you see someone out here doing what they love, doing poetry, doing journalism, and making it both work. And they're so young already, and they're already doing what they love to do. Like, so maybe I don't even know what to say, but it's like for other folks that haven't found their passion, and like all three of us, we already know what we want to do, where we want to go. Like, what's some advice that you guys would give?
I beg to differ on that. I know where I want to go in some elements, but I'm always open to like trying to
like,
pinpoint where I made
to let it change. You know, well, I mean, I was going to law school. I thought that was my dream, but it's like, because
you never know.
Because it evolves. So don't be afraid to let it evolve. So true. What would you guys say to somebody that they feel like they don't have a purpose, or they feel like they don't know where they're going or what they want to do?
Direction.
Yeah.
Oh,
you go first.
Oh, wait,
that's right. That's right.
Oh, what's direction like? Honestly, to try new things and explore, I think that's something that's really important to me, for me to find out what I'm passionate about. You won't know if you don't try these new things. You can think, and almost the way she executes in that sense, try to execute in different areas, try new things. That's how I kind of find the direction in my life, the things that I'm passionate about, kind of putting my hand in multiple cookie jars.
Because if you don't experience it, you won't know what you like. It's like for me, when I was starting university and I was studying history, because that's what the teacher that inspired me to go to university, I just wanted to get to law. But then I took a bunch of electives, and the electives are what made me found my interest. Like I studied intro to journalism. I did all this different stuff, and that allowed me to be like, oh, I'm actually into this. I'm not into this at all. And like I took random classes that I had no business taking, but it made me realize that I'm into stuff. I'm into interviewing. I'm into doing that type of stuff. And it exposes you. I find school makes you do stuff that you probably wouldn't have done. Like being in the journalism course, we had to go and talk to strangers in the street. Interview random strangers. It's like that. But now, looking back, it's like that was so easy and fun, because you have the purpose of, I'm in a class. People weren't even saying no. Like I'm thinking, like, I'm a black guy down Spring Garden Road. These people is actually talking to me. I'm like, hey, I'm in journalism. Can I interview you? And it's like, they were like, every circle. Like I probably got like 1 or 2 rejections or something. But like those things are super important. So tap in, pursue your purpose, and figure out what it is that you want to do by doing things that you don't know if they're not for you.
And even if you find out that they're not for you too, then that's a great learning experience as well, because sometimes you might try something new. I've tried something new and I'm like, oh, that is not for me. But at least you kind of learn in that process to find what you're passionate about. And then once you find that thing that kind of gets the light bulb going, you're like, okay,
and then you can say no to the stuff, because you know what you don't want and you know what you do want.
Like I totally agree, because I played soccer for years and I was very good at it. Like there was at a point where people thought like, okay, I could go pro, but I didn't have that tenacity. I didn't have the tenacity that other people had, and was like, ugh. I didn't have that. I had it when I was younger, because it was easy because I was tall and it was easy to be good, right? But then when you actually had to start working for it, and I found it in poetry. I found it in creativity. That's where my tenacity was. So try everything, because those different things that you try, one of them or 2 of them, 3 of them, all of them might show you that, okay, this is the one for me. And that's where my passion will like show and light up.
Ooh, and then on top of that too, speaking to like your soccer experience and stuff, it's like, don't let people kind of put you into a box of where you should actually pursue. You can let people kind of find that talent in you. For instance, you might have mentors where they're like, yo, you got like a good eye for this, this and that. But at the end of the day, you make that choice and find what you're truly passionate about, because that's where you'll find that tenacity and that drive to actually
unless you're doing something that you know is going to get you the finances or the opportunities that are going to get you there. Like if it's something like, okay, I'm really good at basketball, but I don't really like basketball. Use that as a tool to get your education, to get whatever you want. But like I find a lot of folks, like I'm thinking about basketball in general, is like, they'll only focus on, okay, say their parents like praise them when they do good at basketball. So that's the only thing they really focus on, so they don't get to find no other
be
joy.
Multifaceted.
Yes, I agree.
Because then if you're only one-dimensional, then like let's say you blow your knee out, then what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like if you're not doing the writing, then you can't do the poetry.
Exactly.
But maybe that was your passion.
True.
You know, so figuring that stuff out.
I think all people are like multifaceted. Like literally at Startfest, we were literally talking about it, because I performed, I think, the day before my TED Talk. And we were all talking about how artists are conduits. Like you are capable of everything and anything. You just gotta try it. And then you'll find your way.
And it's like flexing that muscle, because I find a lot of folks, I always say, like, people say they ain't good at math, or they're not a creative, or they got bad memory. It's like, whatever you tell yourself is the truth. So like, if you ain't practicing math, you ain't gonna be no good at math. If you ain't practicing your writing, or if you ain't practicing basketball, or you ain't, you know what I mean, flexing your creative muscle, then you're not gonna be good. But for me, I find when it comes to creativity, is like, knowing my limitations, but also always looking at myself like I'm at the bottom. And if I always look at myself like I'm just a beginner, then I'm always open to learn new tricks, new tips, and always observe what everyone else is doing so that I can be like, okay, how did this successful brand work out? What did they do? What was the person behind that? And then when you peel back the layer, you start to humanize all these other corporations or businesses and be like, oh, that's how they got there. They either got this big funding or they did this thing and that led to this opportunity. You know what I mean? So like figuring out the back end versus like just looking at the big building and being like, how can I do that?
Yeah.
You know? And
try to build your own.
Yes. and what Will Smith be saying is like brick by brick.
Yes.
Like you take it one step at a time, but some people are like, they look at it and be like, I don't want to build it because it's too much work. But it's like, you don't start building, 10 years you won't have nothing. You start building, 10 years you'll have something.
And that's like what my mom's always saying, like, because like when people are like, oh, how did you get there? And my mom's like, later, she's like, they didn't know those times when you were crying out home, writing that poem, when you were 12, when you were working hard, when you were missing things, and now look at you. Yeah.
And it creates like a fulfilling life because you're pursuing something that's your passion, something that you love to do. And that synergy just evolves in all the areas of your life because it's like now you know that you want to do poetry, you know you want to do journalism, and then all the opportunities that continue to come to you that you create is like, this is a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
Like I'm able to like make money.
Yeah.
I'm able to provide for my family. I'm able to do all these things and do what I love to do. I think that's a thing for like a lot of folks that like it's sucky that you don't have a purpose. It's sucky that you don't know what you want to do. But if you don't know, that is just like you're in a place of like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
At least I can figure. Like you got the time. Yes, you got to figure it out. And I think that's the problem. Is like, you know, before you get out of high school and you start working a job at some place you don't like, and then you get a kid, you get a place, you get a car payment, and then basically you put yourself in chains. So then you don't have the time or the energy or anything to do what you truly love to do. So
or make an
before that happens, you can find out what you love when you're in junior high. You can find out what you love when you're in high school, and often just think about like, what are your interests? You know what I mean? Like, what am I into? What am I actually into? Not like, oh, everybody wants to go to a party or everybody that wants to do this. It's like, what am I into? Because when I figured that stuff out, it's like, it's easy for me to forego everything else that people want me to do.
And avoid distractions.
Yes.
I feel like oftentimes as youth, it is easy for us to be like, okay, let's try that, do that. Everything, because everything's shiny and life is new. Honestly, we're babies. Everyone's babies. We're new to everything. Exactly. We're experiencing it for the first time. So, like, some experiences you don't really need. You don't need.
You don't need. You don't need to smoke. You don't need to drink. You don't need to do what your friends are doing because, trust me, you try some stuff and you might never make it back to normality.
You might never recover.
No, for sure. Definitely. I feel like as youth as well, like you said, there's a lot of distractions and stuff out there. And sometimes you can find yourself going down a path you don't want to go down. But when you try to kind of like limit those distractions and focus on what you're actually passionate about, or focus on finding what you're passionate about.
The 21st century, I heard somewhere someone said in the 21st century, your focus is going to be your superpower. So like when you got the TikToks, the Instagrams, and all the distractions that are going on, the people that are like outside of the sheep, those are the people that are going to be able to win because they're laser focused and all these distractions. Because let's face it, like the commercials, like if you don't got YouTube Premium, all those commercials are putting things in your subconscious. If you are like out there hanging with people and just doing what everyone else is doing, it's easy for you to get distracted. It's easy for you to spend your money. It's like, oh, my friend buying this. Oh, I want to buy it too. You know what I mean? So it's like your focus. And once you have focus and your purpose, then you know, okay, can't spend on this because I'm spending on that.
I'm saving,
not just money, your time, your energy, and your focus. You spend your time and your energy and your focus on what you want. What they say, where energy flows, or no, what is it?
Energy
where focus goes, energy flows.
Yes.
So keep your energy focused on the positive and the good stuff in your life, and like ignore and like let all the negativity like die off. Like all them distractions that aren't add no true value or no like benefit for you. It's just like let it go.
And choose your friends wisely. That's one thing that like I had to learn. Like over time growing up. Like
she's 18 and she already learned it.
Like, you know, because like my mom's always talking to me, like our parents, me and my brother's parents, like they love to talk and they like shit. which is good.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah,
it's like,
wisdom.
but most times it's like, okay, you're saying like facts right now.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like choose your friends wisely because the people that you're friends with can either direct or derail your path. So like my friends right now, I can say we're all motivated and we're driven to a goal.
There you
And whenever one of us is flopping or doing, we're like, bro, you need to get off of that and come and like come to the center.
Yeah. How were you able to like figure out like the network of people around you that were supportive and there for you and like good energy versus not? Because I know sometimes like it's difficult as youth. Like sometimes you're like, oh, giving the benefit of a doubt and then realizing that you're kind of like, you know?
I think this is how I would frame it. I think the people who can't stand in your light will fall away. So I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
They will. You'll just know
It will happen.
the distance will happen, or there'll just be things that like used to work because you're growing and you're changing, and so they're no longer in the same place that you are, and it will just.
Yeah. They say one of my buddies was telling me there's a book called Think and Grow Rich, and it's like we don't attract what we want, we attract what we are. So like if you are a queen looking for a king, or I mean if you are somebody that wants a king or someone that wants a queen, you have to be the king to attract the queen. So be what you want to be. If you're like complaining all the time or you're talking about all the things that are in the way, then it's hard for you to create the things that are making the way.
Exactly.
So I find like and there's like scientifically proven stuff like in our brain with like neuroplasticity and all that stuff. Like if you hang around positive people, you become a more positive person. And there's a saying that's you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yes.
So like these little things are like little nuggets of wisdom, and like I don't know how to like define them or prove them, but like they seem like they so true and they work.
They are.
Like,
They are. Like my mom says, iron sharpeneth iron.
Yes.
That's true. And it's so true because if like let's say we're 5 people and like 4 of our friends are drunks, like we're gonna be a drunk.
Yeah,
If you got 4 friends that are like not going to university, you're not going to university.
Exactly.
If you got 4 friends that ain't doing nothing with their life, you're probably going to be the 5th one because you either decide to do something with your life and then you get around 4 friends that are doing something. And like you were saying with your friend group, you propel each other forward.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's the thing that like when you get motion and you surround yourself with people that got motion,
You're going to be moving.
You're motion. What is it? Motion times motion equals motion. Motion in motion.
Motion. I love that. Yeah, that's so
real.
true.
This is a great conversation so far. Is there anything that you maybe wanted to touch on that we didn't touch on yet?
No.
We on point?
Yeah,
We
you guys are on point. It's
Go,
been a
go.
great convo. I've been enjoying
There you
it.
go.
Yeah, we've been enjoying your presence as well.
I'll ask one more before you
go ahead.
community, like ANS community, like Afrocentric community. What is community to you?
I'd say community is like parties, not in that sense, but like family parties, like food, talking, dancing. I like dancing. That's one thing that maybe we could have touched on. I love dancing a lot, especially like Afrobeat and things like that. But I feel like that's where I feel most at home, going to parties like within like the African Nova Scotian community, Nigerian communities, and just like existing, dancing, and like talking to people, because I feel like that's where people are most happiest and most their authentic selves, I think. So I definitely
turn
love,
up,
like,
build rapport, connect, and then opportunities come from those opportunities or from those events.
Definitely.
Talk about the dancing.
You stole the words right out of my mouth. We have time. Go ahead. Talk about your dances.
I like to do Afrobeat dance. I love going around. Like me and my friends, we actually did like a dance. Actually, my best friend from the podcast, we met at a party. I was dancing and she came over and I was like, because like her energy matched mine, because like my grandmother danced a lot. Like our family's really known, especially on my dad's side, for dancing really well. So she came over and I was like, oh my God, she matches my energy. And I've never met anyone else that can like match that with me. So from there on, we like created like a dance group with me and my 3 other girls. And then we danced and we performed a dance for my poem, and we merged that together.
Oh wow! So it's not just journalism. It's not just poetry. It's dance.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like dimensions too.
It all ties together.
Yeah, and I also paint as well. I sing as well. And I do filmmaking as well.
Okay, that's very cool.
Sheesh. She does it all. That's awesome.
Very good. And speaking of, one thing that I did want to touch on was you mentioned self-directed events that you host and collaborate with. Can you expand more on what those look like?
So, for example, Nocturne. I'm doing another one this year, Walls That Speak. But the one I did last year was Through Our Eyes. Okay. And that was a really great opportunity where I had the opportunity to use like spaces and venues and different dancers and also money to be able to give to dancers to get paid their CARFAC fees. It's very important. So that was a great opportunity to be able to organize that, bring together different artists, and bring a show of dance, music, and poetry to life.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, this has been a great motivational conversation, especially coming from someone so young.
Oh,
I think you're going to inspire the youth and
inspire
folks. Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, that's a great vibe.
You want me to do the one word checkout?
Yeah. Let's get it.
So One North End, pun intended. So we have a one word checkout. It's one word to describe maybe how this podcast episode made you feel, how you're feeling today for that week, and just to kind of break down why you chose that specific word.
Yeah, I think it made me feel full. I think it's really great to hear from you guys and your perspectives and be like, oh my God, I get that, and like connecting. I think that's really important. So I really enjoyed this, and you guys keep up with the great work. Yeah, it's really great.
I had two on my head, but I'm gonna go with explore. But I wanted to do creative, but I figured I can put the creative in explore. So explore your creativity and execute on different things, because that's where you're going to create the opportunities. That's where you're going to find the opportunities. And that's where you're going to build yourself and who you are. If you don't explore, like, how are you going to find gold?
Exactly.
You know? My word is, I know we just mentioned it, but inspired. I feel really inspired by you and your story and the journey that you're taking on. Just because you're doing so many amazing things at such a young age. And I think that's really important, because sometimes as youth, we feel like, oh, we have to wait until we get this degree or do this and that before we actually take on the adventure that we want to do. And you're already doing that, which I think is really inspiring. So I hope a lot of other youth are in that same boat. And speaking of you being a youth, are there any plans that you have in the future, in the near future, for you that you might want to speak to or manifest?
Yeah, and in the meantime, think of your one word.
Let me think. But one thing that I have been taught, that I've learned, especially by existing with other people, is moving in silence is very important. So know what you share and know what not to share. So I will say that I hope and have a lot of dreams for the future, and I guess that's it.
You're excited to see what those look like.
I'm excited to see,
And that's so, I love the stuff that you're saying as well. I definitely resonate with a lot of the statements and the perspectives that you have. So thank you for sharing.
I like that you said that, answered that question like that, because you're not a sayer, you're a doer.
Yeah.
And it shows, like, you keep your cards close to your chest.
Yeah.
And I find that's way better, because you're only 18 and all of the stuff have you done. You're not going to talk. You're going to act. You're going to make it happen.
You're going to show it.
Let the result be the noise.
Yes. That's so dope.
I love that. That's powerful. That's
the
type
of... Drop a lot of gems. What is it? Let the what?
Facts. That's so good. All right. So thanks, y'all, for tuning in. A phenomenal guest, as we said. So many things on the horizon. You got to stay tuned with her to figure out what that looks like. So with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, tag, comment your one word, check out, do all of that good stuff.
There you go. Don't let no one tell you that you can't do nothing. Make it happen. Don't matter how old you are.
Living proof.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And catch y'all at the next episode. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to our Feature Friday podcast. And just wanted to make sure that you guys are connected on all platforms. So wherever you're tuning in, maybe even leave us a 5-star review.
If you're watching on YouTube, hit like and subscribe.
And on our social medias as well, you can follow us at ANS Lab or at African Nova Scotian Youth Lab as well on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We got the whole mumble jumble. It'll be in our link tree in our bio.
Don't forget to enter our contest that we have in each episode.
And the way to enter that contest will be sprinkled throughout our episodes, so make sure that you're listening and paying attention.
Each episode may be different, but comment below wherever you are.
And if you don't use social media and you're one of those people, you can even reach out to us by email at anslab@onenorthend.com.
The details are in the episode description.
And last but not least, we want to make sure that we get you guys connected to our resource, our network of resources, the Grapevine newsletters. So to get subscribed, you can check the link in our bio and subscribe yourself. But if you're not that tech savvy, you can also email us at anslab@onenorthend.com and we can get you hooked up.
We'll see you on the next episode.
See you next month.
Let's get it.
Feature Friday.
What's your favorite thing about Fridays?
That's a good question.
The features.